Beautiful day here in Colorado, not a cloud in the sky. Thought I'd head over to Kremmling and try and approach over there. So welcome aboard.
I'm Evan Anderman, a geologist, photographer, and pilot based in Denver, Colorado. Come with me as I discover new ways to look at the environment.
Going east, 6 Mike Yankee, thank you. That's the 6 Mike Yankee, flight straight out, runway 17 left for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff off 17 left and flight straight out, 6 Mike Yankee. Okay, here we go. Got a slow Cessna in front of us, but he's launching us. There we go. Grab right into the wind. Airplane in front of me there. Got my hazard advisor on, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on there. Got to take me around all the airplanes on the in the pattern on the other runway.
Station there, 6 Mike Yankee, west approved.
West approved, 6 Mike Yankee, thanks for your help. I have to watch out for this Bravo ring above me, which starts at 10,000 feet, so I'm only going up to 9,800. Once I go beyond this blue line here, a couple miles away, then I can continue on up. And then the question is, what altitude do I want to go to? So you can see we're headed over toward Kremmling 20 Victor. I have an approach on the screen here, which is the RNAV runway 27. And so I also have the hazard advisor on here. And you can see there's this bridge that we need to go over here in a second. So I'm just gonna up the altitude on the hazard advisor till at least the red goes away. And see that says 12.5 at least, but let's zoom in. We can see it's still yellow on that ridge. So 13.5 is probably preferred. Go back to the plate just so we can see everything there. I'm beyond this ring, so I can go ahead. I'll set 13.5 here, and I'll do indicated airspeed, and I like to climb at 105 knots. So 13.5, 105, and it's armed. That's what the Alt S means. I'm trying to intercept the original route over to the initial point on this approach, so we can follow that up over the ridge there, and that'll be Penny, as you can see here, and then we'll come into Seji. Ote is just down the approach there, and eventually to runway 27. Once we get to Penny, we can stay 13.5 to Penny. Maybe I'll come down to 11.5. It does say LPV, and there is a little hashtag here, so standard LPV decision altitude is 9021. So let's figure out what that hashtag means. Missed approach requires minimum climb of 405 feet per nautical mile to 10,000 feet. So if you can do that climb rate, you can go down to this lower decision altitude of 8245. So that's 800 feet lower, right? That's a pretty good deal. But let's think about 405 feet per nautical mile. As I said, I like to climb at 105. So that's about 1.5 nautical miles per minute. And so that's more like 600 feet per minute climb rate. Since I have a turbo, I can probably do 600 feet per minute, and that's to 10,000 feet. So you're going from 82 to 10,000 at that climb rate. If it's just me and the turbo, I'll probably be able to do that. If you can do that climb rate, then you can go down to that lower minimum. Otherwise, you have to go down at only 9021. Climbing up to 13.5, got another 2,000 feet to go. But no traffic. You can see on here, the red is slowly going away. I'm concerned that I'm getting cold because it's 47 degrees outside air temperature. So turn off some of these vents and drop my vest. Now I gotta wear a vest, right? Okay, beautiful day. So what's my rule of thumb for flying in the mountain? The wind's at 12,000 feet, should not be greater than 30 knots. And also should be relatively free of clouds. If the mountains are obscured by clouds, then I don't want to fly in the mountains. So those are my rules. So as we saw here, the wind is out of 290 at 23 knots, so we're good. But it's coming straight over these mountains. And what does that mean, coming straight over these mountains? So it's going to go up and over the ridge, and then it dives down as it comes back over the ridge. And so I can expect a downdraft as I get to the ridgeline. Usually you intersect the ridgeline at 45-degree angle, so if there is a problem like that, you can easily turn and dump out and go down, and it's not a concern. Usually the rule of thumb is 1,000 feet for each 10 knots of wind, and so at 23 knots, I'd want 2,300 feet. Moving along, here it says 24.5 miles to that Penny intersection, 13 minutes to get there, 25 minutes to Kremmling. I can start to see over this ridgeline right now, which is good. Anyway, we hit 13.5, leveled out. This says that the wind is 16 knots out of 300, so it's almost directly in front of us. And then here comes the ridgeline up here. Oh, you can see from the hazard advisor, you know, the red and the yellow far away from us, coming up on the ridge. Penny is now 7 minutes away. So a little breezy here, a little choppy. As soon as we get over this ridge line, I'm gonna come down to 12.4. Okay, sailing right over the ridge. So look at these beautiful lakes up here. So 12.4, vertical speed, minus 100. So we got 1.5 minutes to the Penny intersection. Speed things up to 200 feet per minute down. What a gorgeous day. All these mountains around us. Okay, here we go. So over here it says 9 miles. It says 9 miles also, but it also says 4 minutes. About 1.5 minutes to Seji. What can I do beyond Seji? There's 11,400, but that's only 2 miles. So that would be 500 feet per minute down. And then beyond that, I can go down to 10,400. And then I can go to 9,900 on the next leg. I'm gonna start pulling the power back now, just to slow it down, make it more likely to get the 500 feet per minute, but that's gonna be quite something, quite steep. I did an approach in Salida, you might remember, and it was pretty steep too. So I can actually see the runway out in front. So pulling back the power, another 15 seconds or so. Yep, 10, 9 is counting down. And go ahead and do 500 feet down. Pull the power back a little more. Actually, that's 2 miles. That's 500 feet per nautical mile. Like 900 feet per minute. Got to do my calculation correctly. I'll make the next intersection before I get to 11.4. So I'm just going to dial this down to 10.4. So that's 300 feet per nautical mile. And I'm going 140 knots right now. So that easily doubles it. But I got 900 feet per minute dialed in. I should listen to this, the ANIS.
Kremmling, McElroy Field. Automated weather observation. 1658 Zulu. Weather. Wind 250 at 3. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 16 Celsius. Dew point 3. Altimeter 3051.
On the Unicon there, now I can go down to 9,900, and then from there, the final approach fixes CEDIX. Once I get to 9,900, I can arm the approach, wait for the altitude to capture. Of course, it didn't capture that. Take it back to 15 inches.
Kremmling traffic, stationer 756 Mike Yankee, 5 mile final for full stop on runway 27 at Kremmling.
I'm still high, little to the right. There we go. That's better. Lights are on, cal flaps are closed. Anyway, had to push over a lot to get down to it. Now we're set. And we're slowing down to a good approach speed, 85 knots. Oh, so see how quickly you get behind the airplane?
Kremmling traffic, stationer 756 Mike Yankee, 2 mile final for full stop on 27 at Kremmling.
And let's see what the final. So we went by 90.21. Oh, I went by 82.45 also. Just gonna land. So I'm just off altogether, way behind myself. But I hope it's still instructive to you to see this. Still right on the glide path. You can see it brings us in right over this little ridge line here. Oh, and the glide path is pointing us at the 1,000-foot markers, which are those 2 big white bands down there. Okay, we made it. Beautiful day up here, isn't it? And there are a couple jets sitting here. You know, we're right off the Colorado River. I think people come here to go fishing. We made it into Kremmling. Hope you liked that flight. I was a little behind things, but we made it down the glide path, and here we are in Kremmling. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next flight.